cost of lies,
right.
the danger of narrative, and I didn't want us. That's it. And the explosion, which you know is going to happen, you're not going to wait for that either.
Right.
There it is. What's fascinating to me is not that Chernobyl exploded, it's how close people were and how unaware they were and how that night just unfolds in a way that I had no idea it unfolded and would have never predicted in a million years.
So, that was a little piece taken. First off, the Chernobyl HBO podcasts are just incredible. I'm still chewing through them myself. And Craig Mazin, that was just him talking about the show, about the 1986 nuclear power plant disaster. I just got done watching episode 5. It's only 5 episodes, and holy shit! I just. So, prior to the show, I didn't really know that much about Chernobyl. I didn't really know that much about radiation, poisoning, like the effects of that. Like, I didn't realize how bad these two things. Man. You know what really... First off, what he just said totally resonated with me. 110%. Like, what happened at Chernobyl and this show, visually and sonically speaking, is... I mean, it's just nightmarish. It's sobering. It's haunted. Deeply, deeply disturbing. Like this show, I think this might be not only. Oh shit! I think not only may this be. I know it's early, but like this may be the best show of the year. I'm serious. Like this. This might be the best show of the year for sure. This might be the best show that HBO has ever created, maybe ever will. Like what Watchmen did for the graphic novel medium. I think that's what Chernobyl perhaps has just done to television, and narratives told in like episodic, series form. I mean, streaming or whatever. I mean, like this show is just emotionally it's emotionally devastating. It is almost unbearably bleak and horrifying. And from that, it's very traumatizing show. Like it's so unusually creepy and disturbing. It's almost hard to articulate just how horrifying this was to watch. This, like, I started watching the show yesterday and I just finished it today like a madman. Because I've said this time and time again, but biopics or docu-series or whatever, narratives that are told in this way. When they're told this good, it makes me feel like I've time traveled. This is like, time travel doesn't exist. It's just like the next closest thing I have to getting a ultra specific look into the past. And oh my god, I had no idea it was that fucking bad. Holy shit. Yo, this might be the creepiest show I've ever seen. It was that bad for me. Like, I just didn't realize it was just. I didn't realize it was that bad. Wait, what? What's my boy's name who's on Mad Men? Jared Harris. Jared Harris, the Don. He's just fabulous in this show. Just a 10 out of 10 performance. But every performance was just nailed it. Okay, Emily Watson nailed it. Okay, my boy Sarsgaard, my boy, right here, he killed it. Okay, like his bromance, with Jared Harris was just so captivating, and it was just like an emotional roller coaster, and oh my god, yeah, the acting is just terrific across the boards. The makeup, I think True Detective season 3, and I think Chernobyl easily have some of the best usage and execution of makeup that I've ever seen when it comes to television. For real, like, whoa, the makeup, the costume design is like just next level. Next level. The CGI is used so carefully. Like when there's like, remember when it was Jared Harris and what's his character name? Boris, right? The two of them, they're in the helicopter and they're like flying over the reactor, and like the black cloud is tornadoing up. You know what I'm saying? And Boris is like, "Get us over the reactor. I want to see." And fucking. And Jared's just like, "No, if you go over the reactor, we're gonna die really fucking quickly." It's essentially what he was saying. And what the fuck? Holy shit! From the second that bitch, the moment that the motherfucker exploded, anybody who was close to that motherfucker was fucked. Instantly. That's the thing that bends my mind. Like, to think that, like, just in a moment, to know that, like, oh, you're fucked. You know, your life just got shortened because of this, because of a disaster, because of an accident that could have been prevented. Fam. When that shit first when it first went off and the episode came on, and Jared Harris he's hung himself, and then boom, we get immediately to the explosion, and we only see it from the distance through that window, which was really fucking eerie because it was like quiet. There's like, and you know, everybody inside's like, "What was that? I think something exploded." And then holy shit, the horror in the show is unusually good. The horror elements. When this guy comes in and he's like, the core exploded, fam. Okay? And then one bitch ass dude was like, "The core didn't explode. How could it have?" What do you mean? If someone comes in if someone comes in, right, it's in that situation, and someone tells you that the fucking core exploded, I don't give a fuck what's going on with the times. Maybe you should just consider that maybe they're not lying, okay? Like that one dude who was like, the core exploded, and they're like, "We didn't believe you. Go back out there and take another look. You'll see." What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh shit. Man, that was some of the most fucked up shit I've ever seen in my entire life. That's some of the most fucked up shit I've ever seen. It's not funny, but it's so fucked up that, like, it's making me, like, fear, chuckle, and giggle a bit. Like, it's not good. Oh no. I don't know any other way to react to shit. I don't know that I have the emotional range to articulate just how fucked up this show and the real life events are. Like, ooh. Is it still there? Oh my god, I think I still got it pulled up. Okay, so I was just skimming over. That's another thing. The sound, the sound effects, the sound design, just the audio in general, sonically, and just like sound effects wise, and the musical score is unbelievable the entire time in this show. The music that's playing during this moment It plays throughout the show. The music that's playing right here. I think it's like the theme song of the show. But it's literally maybe the most. I think it's the most disturbingly creepy and devastatingly depressing piece of music I've ever heard from a TV show. Like, when I hear the music that's playing during this moment, it's like the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. I'm getting chills. I am mind-blowingly creeped the fuck out. But there's like a beauty to the music in a way, like this haunting, beautifully haunted sound, I guess. It's eerie shit, man. It's eerie shit. This whole scene right here is so eerie. Fuck me. What the fuck? They had to bury those sons of bitches in, what was it, concrete? Like, that's how fucking poisonous they were. And this chick is just, I mean, she's like that guy. Like, he had his skin looked like it was being stripped off and being rotted and eat. It's almost like his flesh looks like it was eating himself. Like this woman right here. I'm talking about her boyfriend. Hold on a second. I'm talking about her boyfriend. Okay, her boyfriend when she was with him, and she was just shit. She was just touching his hand and just kissing on him. Oh shit! And it's fucking his body was becoming like a living corpse. I've never seen no shit like that before. Like there were parts of his skin that were like turning like black and shit. It literally looks like something. He started looking like a goddamn demon out of Silent Hill or some shit. Like, oh no, fuck, man, this show fucked me up, man. I've been researching Chernobyl as well, and listening to the podcast, and man, I just like I've heard about facts about Chernobyl, but it's very light. I've never extremely surface level. I never thought about like the hyper specifics of that night and beyond that night. And goddamn, fuck me, when Jared Harris, when he was talking to what's his name about like what radiation poison like when he's describing the way that eats at your body. Oh my god. He was like, this is something that has never occurred before on the planet. Oh my god. It's so much. Just like the audio that I played for you at the beginning. I feel the same. I'm just in awe that like so many people didn't know. So many people were lying, or there's just so much misinformation going around. And it's just like, what the fuck? That bridge of death, right? All those people standing there like looking out at the reactor, holding children, and it's like you're all fucked. When Jared Harris was like, blah blah blah, we could die in 5 years. I just can't. I literally can't. I just can't fucking imagine how nightmarish that would be. Could you imagine being on that bridge of death and like you step off and you just learn about someone runs up to you and they give you a fast course on radiation, and to know that you're just immediately to get irradiated like that, and to just know there's just nothing you do about it. You just when those two men walked through that yellow door, and they go to look at the core, and not only is the core exploded, but they're like staring into the heart of like this exploded core. Basically, they're basically looking into like the eye of Sauron or some shit, like the eye of Satan, basically, and like the amount of radiation that they must have been exposed to. I mean, granted, they're fucking dead before they even touch the goddamn door, but like. That just bends my mind, man. This gigantic threat that they can't even see. And when that one chick's boyfriend was wigging out because he's fucking they look like plate sized blisters were just forming on his body, and I was just like, and she had a baby, which I think took the brunt of the radiation poisoning, and goddamn, all these men there, like, there's nothing wrong, everything's fine, there's nothing wrong at Chernobyl. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? This is gonna lead to like thousands of deaths, thousands of people having cancer, and like those fucking firefighters, like when they got there, holy shit, when they get there and they got put out the fire, and that graphite shit or whatever, it's just one of the firefighters just touched the graphite, okay? The amount of fucking radiation these sons of bitches were getting. I heard like some people were like in t-shirts that day. It's just like, fuck, it's just all fucked. It's just all fucked. What's the point of any of anything? What the fuck? What does that even mean? I just don't understand how something that horrific could happen. When that one dude, what's his name? I think he was in, not The Lobster, but, where's he at? This kid right here. He was in that one movie, The Killing of a Sacred Deer, right? So the part where he comes in, and when we first see this guy, like, well, it's interesting. He was on the bus, and he looks outside the bus, and he like sees some soldier or someone like puking on the ground, and I just thought that was so ironic because you skip a few scenes ahead, and he's feeling sick because he has to kill these radiated animals, which is like a circumstance that I would have never imagined, but like these guys going around killing these animals, and that one guy's like, all right, use this to cover your balls, okay? If you shoot one, don't let it suffer, make sure it dies, blah, blah, blah. You ready to go? Here's our job, let's go out. And it's just like, what the fucking, maybe the creepiest job of all time, shooting these adorable animals. It was so rough for me. It was so rough for me when the kid here, my boy Barry, when he shout out to his work in Dunkirk as well, but when he walks in and there's just like these beautiful puppies and this beautiful dog, and you realize that moments later they're about to get massacred. Just because of I cannot believe that dude. Oh my god, what's that character's name? I can't even remember. He walked up to him, looked him dead in his face. Multiple people, really, over and over are like, "Yo, the core exploded. The core exploded." And this motherfucker's like, "Well, I don't believe it. You're crazy." It's like, no, bro. Like, how could you not believe such a thing? Oh shit! I gotta turn down the volume on here. But yeah, it's like how could you not believe such a thing? You know? How could you be told that the fuck you literally the whole fucking building just shook. Everybody just heard a pretty much a boom essentially, and you're over here like, maybe nothing happened. But maybe everything's fine. No, bitch. Someone tells you the core exploded to a nuclear power plant, you best fucking believe them. All right, this sequence right here, I think it's just gonna be a legendary one day. This scene right here, where they're all just disrespecting my man's suit and everything. Like, pretty much they're just like, bye, Felicia, literally. God, this moment gave me chills, you know? The levels of interpretation to be gained from this one scene alone is mind bending. This show was just. When they were watching those helicopters bring in all that whatever the fuck they were dumping, like sand and shit onto the fire, they were trying to put out the fire with all those helicopters. And when you see that one helicopter go down, it's just a beautiful illustration of despair, you know, loss. The sense of dread and tension is unusual in this show. Like, the sense of dread in this show is suffocating. And it's constant. And it's oozing through every sequence, every frame. It's almost as if, like, the show is trying to make you have an anxiety attack every few seconds. You know, but the show is very it's very respectful, you know. By the time we get to this moment here, oh shit, I think it went away. But in the last moment on the show, actually, hold on, let me see if I can go to it real quick. In the finale episode, there's like a title card, a montage sequence using title cards at the very end. And I don't know. My main point was that I think the show was just incredibly respectful of what happened in real life. I thought the show was very especially when you listen to the creator kind of explain where he was coming from. When you listen to the creator explain why they didn't go with Russian accents, and why did they create this character? The character didn't exist in real life. When you listen to him break it all down, everything about this show is incredibly well thought out. I thought the show was very carefully done, and was very respectable regarding the real life events. And I thought there was a brutal honesty to the show. And man, it got me. This show fucking got me. Oh yeah, when we get to here, here's what I was looking for. This is when I was like, you know what? I think this show understood its source material. You know what I mean? Like it. I don't think that this show is ill intentioned. I don't think I don't think that the makers are like bad people, or that they're trying to. I think everything about this show is coming from a place of love and respect, and I think the show is trying to highlight the disaster as honestly and as carefully as possible, while being a entertaining show to watch. And I just think the show just exceeded on all those levels, and I think the show exceeds expectations. At least it exceeded mine. When we get to the courtroom, in episode 5, and what's his name? When Jared Harris is sort of breaking down beat by beat, like what exactly went wrong that night on the 26th or whatever. Tough, man. That shit was tough. Like, to sort of to be at a nuclear power plant and sort of to be working at a nuclear power plant and giving commands and just like moving forward in like a nonchalant way where you're hardly paying attention and you're being lazy, like the thought of someone being lazy and not really caring and kind of like half-assing their job at a fucking nuclear power plant is fucking just next level insane. Wow. I'm trying to find this dude. Hold on a second. Yeah, this whole fucking sequence right here was just incredible writing. And incredibly fucking horrifying. Good lord. This was just written so well, and oh man, I love how in this episode we sort of go back and we sort of see the blast from a different angle. You could say it. I thought that was really cool. I'm trying to get to this dude. Let's see if I can find him. There's one character I want to talk about, but I couldn't fucking pronounce his name. So I'm trying to find a picture of the son of a bitch. Oh man. What else can I talk about before I the self-sacrifice from the people that night is unbelievable. I just don't know what I would have done learning that you've been fucking poisoned by a disaster that could have been prevented, you know? That's tough. Where's this motherfucker? I think his face is coming up. Hold on one second. This fucking guy, this is what I wanted to talk about. This son of a bitch right here. My God, what a character. Wow. Maybe my most hated character of the year. Just what the fuck? What the fuck? How what's wrong with this man? It's just like, what the fuck? What the fuck was he thinking? The level of stupidity and absurdity from this son of a bitch is just outrageous. Holy shit. To think that there are people out there like him is fucking terrifying, man. To think that the whole civilization could be over because of actions from men like this guy is just... Man. I hope this show blows up. And I really hope that, like... I really do hope that this show is looked back on as fondly as we look back on the graphic novel Watchmen, because there's such an important series of lessons being taught in this show. There's so many Easter eggs, from down to the sets to the costumes. Oh my God! There's just so many moments. There's just so many holy fuck moments in this show. Like there's a moment where they had to like clear off this graphite off this roof, and like these workers are like running in, and this one motherfucker like trips and like cuts his foot open, or when the miners. Oh yeah, there was a great, beautiful quote, by the way, that was like, don't lie to the miners because they work for a living in the dark and they can see everything. I thought that was a really fascinating quote. But when those miners showed up and like the job that they had to do, and they were even like all the men were naked at one point because it got so hot from all the digging of the tunnels. It's just unbelievable what transpired from this disaster, Damn. I never looked that deeply into it before, but man, oh man. those firemen showing up to put out the fire in episode 1, and the beautiful color palette being cast from this devilish core that's just burning at whatever the fuck temperatures. Oh my god! And they're just getting so close to the open reactor, and they're just getting so fucking irradiated, and they just don't even know. All these people are living by this nuclear power plant, and they don't even they don't even seem to understand the gravity of the situation at all. Like, motherfuckers are like playing outside the next day. They have. When they were at the hospital, and that one nurse, the nurse was like, "No, you gotta take off their clothes. What are you doing? This is all infected." And literally just minutes after her throwing clothes down the hallway, like her hands are turned purple. Just, I don't know what the last disaster on this level. I think that happened in 2011 or something like that. In Japan, I think, something like that. But man, I hope I never have to experience something like that. I don't know. I honestly, I think I'm gonna do something I've never done before. Okay? And this has only happened so many times. Like, clearly this happened with The Matrix, you know. Maybe that's the only other time. Because I would give the Matrix 1999. I would give it this rating as well. But anyway, I don't think I've ever given this rating before on the channel. It's never happened. But just for the hell of it, because it really is true. I mean, I get where some people are coming from, where when they say that they have nitpicks or issues with the show, like not using the right accents or whatever. But honestly, to me, what they got emotionally right, what they got visually right, the things that they got accurately, they just outweigh the negatives for me. You know, the positives outweigh the negatives. For me, the show is it's a 11 out of 10 for me, for this show. It's 11 out of 10. I think it's deserved. You know, I think this is one of those shows that I think we're gonna look back in like years' time, and we're gonna realize that this is like a timeless masterpiece. And don't be shocked if a lot of shows try to imitate what was done here. You know, but this was a very special show. You know, because it really made you. It makes you concerned for where we're headed, and it makes you want to press pause and look back and understand deeply. And I mean, there's a whole list of other positives, from the beautiful high quality CGI to the performances, but I mean, honestly, that in itself, I mean, there's so many reasons, but yeah, it's 11 out of 10 for me. I think it's pretty much perfect in a way, because it's art, and this is like some of the highest level of art that you could really achieve. You know, I don't know. I don't know that art is about being perfect. You know, but it's just about how it affects you. And for me, Chernobyl, the show, it like was just shattering for me. It made me want to learn more, and that's rare. You know. So anyway, I could ramble about this goddamn show for a while, but yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on it. Man, I tell you that song, from this part, that song just eats away at me, man. I can't shake it out of my head. Mm-mm-mm. I think this was the door I was talking about as well. Remember when I was talking about that yellow door they slipped through to go take a look at the core? Fuck! So creepy. Fuck, that's so fucked up. Damn. People were told that they were going to temporarily evacuate, and yet, what? What that site's like poison for what centuries? I think the little confinement thing that they got on top of the explosion site is only meant to last like 100 years or some shit. It's just like, man. Could you imagine if that core had actually melted down and entered the water? And I just don't know. I think when that at the end of episode 1, when they were showing like a school and some kids, like a bunch of kids just walked by, and you see the bird fall out of the sky and land on the sidewalk. I think it was then that I knew. 11 out of 10, guys. Let me know what you thought about Chernobyl. I'm about to go for a walk or go hang out with some people. Go watch a comedy. Do something to take my mind off this bleak shit. Oh man. Man. Shout out to all the good people involved in that shit.